My name is Jeremy Luke Chiasson. Starting my 6th year of seminary, so it'll be my 2nd year of theology at Notre Dame in New Orleans. Definitely the greatest takeaway was recognizing that the Lord has to do this to me. There's not something I can just try really hard at and succeed in, but I have to allow the Lord to work upon me, which I think is the kind of thing like people say all the time, but for the first time this year it really meant something to me. You know, I really think as my desire and discernment of the vocation of the priesthood becomes much clearer, one of my big desires for this year of seminary is just to do it and continue to grow in my formation, but also to get closer to the priesthood. I think getting a little impatient about it, but also just, you know, to continue to have the time to study and focus on my prayer life, that I would be prepared for the ministry that I know the Lord is calling me to. Kind of the same thing as every year, but you know, with a renewed passion for it. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of things I wanted to do as a kid, obviously. Like many kids. My first great love was I wanted to be a garbage truck operator, the great heroes of my young childhood life. And then I wanted to be a dirt bike racer. And then, you know, when I was about 8, I really sobered up. So I decided I was going to be an architect. But I'd say once I got to high school, I really struggled with that question a lot because, you know, I was always looking for like, what is the one job I'm going to do for the rest of my life? And I kind of recognized that there were no just occupations that I really cared that much about. Yeah, so that was always kind of a point of struggle for me, that I never really knew what I ultimately wanted to do with myself. I think something that showed like his great authority or power, and the first one that really comes to mind is Jesus healing the centurion's daughter, and like just coming in and being like, little girl, get up, and like she just gets up and is fine after being dead. I think that would just be so, you know, first off absurd, and I know I would stand out, you know, I would immediately be like, was she really dead? And I would doubt it. Like just the shock of his pure power and authority would be so awesome to witness. Okay, I just recently learned about something of a legend that during World War II, when Allied bombers were coming to fly over and bomb the city that his monastery was in, Padre Pio allegedly flew up into the clouds, and the Allied fighter pilots saw him, and that like freaked him out, so they went back to the base. I need to know if that's true, because it almost seems silly, but it also seems kind of epic. Just want to know if that really happened. You know, definitely early on in seminary, like the desire is always to pray for more clarity or like more knowledge of my vocation and my discernment, which I of course need, but I think as I kind of at least start to approach the end of my time in discernment, and I'm at least much more educated on what's expected of me and what I think the Lord's calling me to do. What I would ask to be prayed for now is really just the courage to do what I already know I need to do, but also the strength, you know, to give up the things I know I need to give up and to really embrace the lifestyle that the Lord has already made me aware and continues to make me aware that He's calling me to.